Now, okay, Big Mike, I want to move on to another topic, man. Now, this is something I wanted to ask you about, as you heard about. There was this whole thing called the Black Yacht Weekend in Chicago. And it ended up being a situation where it was promoted as this extravagant event, luxurious, black people going out during, I think it was Memorial Day weekend, on some yachts, you know what I'm saying? And just having a good time, right? Well, it ended up being what some people considered a scam because people didn't understand the makeup of Chicago. That Chicago really isn't like from what a lot of the locals were saying, a super go to the club and super turn up like city, like your Houston's, like your Atlanta, like your Miami, like your Vegas. And when people got there, they were met with a rude awakening because the water was too choppy for a lot of the boats to go out there. And a lot of the things that they thought they could do, they weren't able to do. And they were faced with the whole segregation of the city. Most people don't realize how segregated of a city Chicago is. You know what I mean? So what did you have knowledge of this event? And did you see any of the reactions?
Nah, I didn't.
It was a crazy situation, man. It played out on social media, mostly on TikTok.
Yeah, I ain't even see it. Did I? No, I don't think I seen that. You know, normally when I catch news about stuff like that, it's always on like Instagram or somebody that says something about it on YouTube or something like that or Reddit.
Yeah, it was one of those quick things that went by. But man, judging, you being from Chicago, living there your whole life and stuff like that, splitting time between other places or whatnot, what do you think about like events like that? Is Chicago, I mean, it looks like Chicago isn't built to host events like that, at least for black events. Do you think that it is or it isn't?
Well, it really just depends. You feel me? Because some black people just ignorant. You know what I'm saying? The people don't know how to just go out and have fun and just chill. You feel me? More so on the white side, they do some, they don't have those type of problems. Now, they might get overbearingly drunk and start having fights and stuff like that, but you really ain't gonna see nothing like that when it comes to the whites. It's like they ain't really built for it, though.
Okay. So you think that, now what makes Chicago still so segregated today? Is it the crime?
It is the crime, you know what I'm saying? Because, you feel me, the jails are packed with minorities, you feel me? Blacks and Latinos, like they packed because, we the ones doing the most crime, feel me? So it's like certain spots you will go to and don't know black people live on this block. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know the spots where it's all white at, you know what I'm saying? Like, in my neighborhood, in Oblock, you know what I'm saying? There no white people stay on our block. It was all blacks. Up and down King Drive, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't segregated, but it is at the same time, though.
I get that because where I come from, it's the same. It's pretty much, you know what I mean? And it's separated in that way. And it's separated by gangs that way. And gangs pretty much run most. And it affects regular people's lives, right? So so everything's separated and segregated. That's why there's big issues as far as, all those communities. And you wouldn't expect it because, they profess different, but it's just different. But you go to like a Texas where you have big cities like Dallas, big cities like Houston, or you go to like Atlanta, right? You have these and I'll admit this, I went to Atlanta and for the first time, that was the first time that I had seen just a whole black community that was just thriving like that, where it was like the rich people were the black people were the rich people. You know what I'm saying? The black people, the people with the upper middle class jobs, the doctors and all that, they were all black. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and you have that at Houston, you have that at Dallas and Frisco, you have that in different places. In Chicago, do they have that same kind of situation?
Yeah, you got entrepreneurs that live in Chicago. You got doctors, lawyers and stuff. You feel me? Like you got the black people that stay in the nice neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? They got big houses and stuff like that. They want to stay away from the hood so that they can raise their kids without the involvement of the streets. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, but what I mean is, my question being like a majority suburb, like a majority black suburb, like a majority black rich neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? That was unique to those places as I've seen.
You ain't gonna see that in Chicago. I don't know no places where it's like that.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't see that in either, man. It used to be, I believe, Hills or whatever used to be kind of, because of the way things were. You still had a couple of old school celebrities who still had their houses and things in there, and it's pretty much a black neighborhood. But just a predominantly black neighborhood where this luxurious life and stuff is just very unique to certain other places, right?
Yeah, black people stepping their game up.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you kind of see it, man. Like, this is off subject, but you see it with the NBA. You know what I mean? I'm a big sports guy, but you see it. Like, look at most of the kids who get drafted in the NBA now. They're nepotism babies. They're nepo babies. They're second generation rich kids. You know what I mean? It's mostly rich kids now.
And they lived off their parents' money. Now they making their own money. They rich on their own now.
Yeah. Crazy, man. All right, so we'll leave the Black Yacht Weekend question alone, and I wanted to go to something else. So Doodie Lo recently spoke out. Since our last interview, where we talked about him getting shot, he recently spoke out. He went on social media and talked about the fact that he had got shot and was just basically sending his sending his thank yous for everybody who sent prayers to him during this difficult time where he ended up, getting shot and taking one in the leg, I believe, and in the back. So this is what he said on social media. He said, "I appreciate everyone who's been checking in. I got hit, but I'm still here, still breathing. God got me, taking this time to heal, get stronger, come back better. Keep your energy right. Stay safe out there. Love, Big Doodie Lo." Now, Doodie Lo was famous, well, not famously, but it was famous. I should say it was a broadcast that he was shot down in Atlanta, and it looked like a situation where he had let his guard down. Now, this took place on May 13th, and it took place at 9:25 p.m. A lot of people said that, what was he doing on MLK at that time? And it was on the Northwest side, so they said maybe he was trying to link up with a chick. But he ended up taking a couple of shots and ended up losing his chain. Later on, his chain ended up going on a tour. When you see this Doodie Lo situation and how he's, pretty much stayed low-key since then, what do you think?
He getting smarter, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you comfortable and you catch those bullets, now you start to think smarter. You don't get too comfortable no more. And like, I guarantee you he gonna move different. You know what I'm saying? Cause he ain't gonna want to, cause the next time you might end up dying. You feel me? So I know he ain't gonna want to be put back in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it take accidents like these to help us get smarter anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, it probably take a wild, crazy look to go to prison for 10, 15 years to realize he needs to slow down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I do believe that, you know what I'm saying, he taking his time to think about, you know what I'm saying, his next moves. Like, you know what I'm saying, I can't move like this no more. You know what I'm saying? Because, don't nobody going to get put back in the same situation they just left out of, especially when it could lead to worse. Like, you ate them bullets. You made it up out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? Just be blessed to be alive. You feel? That little change, that little money they took or whatever, you would get that back. You feel? Sometimes it be a pride thing though, where people, he want to go back and I got to get my get back. I need my chains back. Feel? So like, I need hot jewelry back.
And we see a lot of artists feel like they get boxed in a corner because something savage happens to them. You know what I mean? But staying low key and working on getting better, after taking a shot to the leg, seems like the best move in this case, right?
It definitely is. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't jump on there talking about what he gonna do to somebody or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? The message, you feel me? It sounds like he on a positive note that he just trying to, you know what I'm saying, get back to how he used to be, because he probably got to learn how to walk again on his leg or whatever. But at the same time, though, I feel like that situation is gonna make him realize, like, you know, he got to start moving different. He can't get comfortable no matter what.
Nah, and that's facts. And you made a good point there that a lot of people overlook, that when you get shot in the leg, you do got to go to physical therapy, and you have to learn how to walk again, depending on it's a lot, man. You know what I mean? And people just watch too many movies, I think, man. They think you get shot in the leg, but there are certain people, if it's like there's people who walk away from it as like just a limp for a couple months and things like that. But that's not the usual case, right?
Yeah, because like if it's like a through and through, that's when they be like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it hit the calf or something like that, you know what I'm saying? If it's like a through and through on the calf, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of easy to recover, even though that muscle go be tender and sore. But if you talking about a bullet hitting you and breaking one of your bones in your leg, ain't no way you ain't doing rehab for that. You gonna do rehab.